It's a movie called Raptures, which is a movie from Sweden, and it is directed and written by this guy John Blahed. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. But he was also at the we had a Q&A with him. But this is it's a very serious, very moody movie about a remote village in Sweden in the 1930s, World War II era. It's definitely set like they make it clear it's during that time, and it's around this community of fundamentalist Christian people, and they are so remote that they're able to sort of like dictate what they're going to actually put out to these people, and like start to take unjust power over them, and it becomes basically a cult. And you see a lot of movies sort of like in this vein. I was thinking a lot of like Women Talking or something like that. There's the main character is, yes, Jessica Grabowski is tremendous in her role. But I mean, there's several things that are thrown at you. There's some beautiful cinematography. All the period details are great, and just the landscape of everything in this remote village works out really well. The backdrop, you can feel it in some ways, but it's also just sort of like there. There's the thing of, there's communists, there's Nazis, they're like, all this stuff is like around, but you're so stuck in this one village, and it's in this language that has never had a movie made in this language before, because it only really exists in this like one part.
I had to look it up. It's Meänkieli is the name of the language. Meänkieli.
And they do some really interesting things with language, and the subtitles kind of jump back and forth between what they're speaking, and it sort of becomes its own character in the movie. It's a movie that's really heavy. It's not difficult to get into, but it's more something that you're going to respect than you're going to actually enjoy watching. I don't know if I would want to sit through this again, but it is something that I'm like, just for almost 2 hours, I was pretty much just like locked in on this drama. So I like the movie quite a bit. I'm landing at 3 stars on this one.
Yeah, this movie, I agree with a lot of what you said. It was gorgeous to look at. The cinematography is great, whether it's just scenery shots or like some of the shots just even in buildings are just beautiful. The performances, especially from Jessica Grabowski as Rakel, she was just brilliant. I thought the other lead, Theodore Jacob Orman, was pretty good as well. And then there was the old lady. Who was the old lady? She was really good too. Anyways, there are some really solid performances in this. It's kind of hypnotic as you're going along. It says a lot about the culture of being insulated and isolated, and this village is kind of cut off from everything, and it allows for these two men who kind of get this idea to run with it, and everyone follows, and the one person that really has pause is the one outsider who's Rakel, the wife of the leader. She's not from the town, she's from outside. She was brought in to be the teacher, and so she's educated, she's trying to educate, and but they shut down the schools because it's like, no, we're not going to educate anymore. We don't need that. We just need whatever our prophet is telling us of what's going on in what God is communicating through them. So you have that idea of that theme of how education can help make you more critical thinker, and how being isolated and insulated from everything else around you can really lead to those like radical ideas, like spreading and growing and infesting in a culture. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. There's a twist that comes at the end that I don't know if we didn't really care for. It kind of felt unnecessary. I probably
twist in more ways than one.
Oh, I see what you did there. I probably would have thought about 3.5, but with that, it doesn't. I mean, I'm high 3. I might end up at 3.5 the more I sit with it. I also agree that I don't know if it's necessarily something I want to sit through again. You mentioned what something they do with the subtitles. Language like plays its own character in this, and they have the me and Keeley language, and it says right off the bat that there's 3 languages that are going to be spoken in the movie, and each will be subtitled differently so you can tell what is being said at different times. So me and Keeley was in white, the Finnish was in blue, and Swedish was in yellow. And as you go along, you see that there's like reasons for the different languages, and reasons different languages are spoken at different times, and how some languages are almost like vilified if they're being spoken at times. And sometimes, like Swedish is like vilified when it's spoken, but then as the movie moves on, it's more of a no. Swedish shows that you're learning and you're educated and you're breaking the mold, and it's all because of the color of the subtitle. And I would have never known that, and I thought that was really cool how just the color of the subtitle plays a character in the movie. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, sort of what you were talking about a little earlier. The how they actually shape what they actually are going to tell the people and what they're going to do. Like they get like a new version of the Bible or whatever, and they're like just someone's like, oh yeah, this isn't Christianity, this is like wrong, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, whatever. And then you see it slowly start to creep in, and to the point that there was a scene that reminded me of The Order, which was like it was like their church service thing, and then it slowly just turned into like this weird, like almost trance cult thing where they were no longer like saying and thinking what they would before, and it completely morphed into this like warped ideology thing, and like things like that I really responded to as well. Yeah, it's a cool movie. I don't know what its chances are to get like Sweden's submission for the Oscars. That'd be pretty cool. There's some great Swedish filmmakers out there, but this does fit the mold of what the Oscars usually put on their short list.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting if this got picked by Sweden. I think it could be picked by Sweden. And yeah, like you said, it's the type of movie that they would pick. As I'm going through my Oscar watches from past years and seeing what ends up getting on these lists, it's films like this, like the heavy telling a story that no one really else knows about. And the filmmaker said he told the story because he's from this area and spoke this language, and this was everyone always talked about like the legend of the cult from this set in like the 1930s, like on the brink of World War II. And so he tells this story that is very important to him because it's a story of kind of his culture's history. So solid 3 stars from both of us on Raptures. Yeah, it'd be great if in 6 months, 7-8 months, we're talking about this being an Oscar nominee, or at least a submission to the Oscars, maybe shortlisted.
And this was its North American premiere, or the first time it played not in Europe. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is the start of its festival run. Like, who knows? It could end up at something like Toronto or something. I don't know. Who knows? But it does seem like one of those movies.
It does. Okay. So that is Raptures. After Raptures, they had a Q&A with the writer director and one of the producers. We jetted out of that to get some food because we had a quick turnaround.